I was on my table and I had a glass of vitamin C, and it just went just like that on the keyboard. I was like, and I've had that iPad for 5 years. I was like, son of a.
Yeah.
You want to go live? Yeah, tell me.
No, thank you.
Hey!
Good morning to our YouTube friends.
Good morning, YouTubers.
We're making a lot of noise today because Tom isn't here. So
Yes, we're gonna have to make up for it.
we're gonna giggle and have a blast. I was just reading this. Did you guys see this article about the woman who won 25 of the blue ribbons at the state fair? I know, that is cute. Come up here and say hello to YouTube. Annie, Diane, come say hello to our YouTube friends. Because you look so fantastic together.
Half an inch taller.
Who do you think is taller? Annie's got to get ready for, we're doing a lunch club class today, vegetarian picnic.
Yeah.
And so what, tell them what you're making.
Corn fritters, strawberry, blueberry fried ham pie,
Yum.
warm spring salad, though it's not really spring anymore,
But it still is spring in Seattle.
yeah, the last Washington asparagus fishy straw as a surprise.
Oh, I was that done.
Now-
You're sneaking that one
Yeah.
in.
We just had a little bit left in our walk-in, and I didn't want it to go to waste, so I turned that into soup.
That's resourceful. as usual.
Leftovers usage. I love that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it's just so beautiful from Foster. I didn't want to go to
No, of
waste,
course, of course.
and it wasn't enough to serve any, bigger amount of guests, so they're getting a little bit of the soup as their.
Are you making potato salad too?
No
No.
potato, but
Nope.
I did fry off some potatoes and garnish on top with some lemon oil that I made.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Oh, good eating this afternoon.
Very, very good.
I'm very excited. So they're gonna take that away? They're gonna take it as a picnic, or?
Well, we're trying to teach them on how. Well, that's not really part of the picnic, but that's just something that. But the corn fritters, they can, make it and take it to a picnic. We're trying to teach people on how to make all these things so they can take to July 4th and watch the fireworks.
Yeah.
And eating that. The corn fritters, it stays pretty good at room temperature, and also the fried ham pies, and then
Fried ham.
We're gonna get to taste those.
Whoa, fried ham pie?
yeah, so like the like those pies that you get from McDonald's.
No, we talked about that with Tom.
Yeah.
No, I don't
No.
know.
But I grew up on that. That was my favorite.
You
thing.
did?
Yes.
Oh, sacrilège de tabarnak.
Well, that was before I knew what.
But now she makes
Yeah, now I make from
So it's
scratch.
okay.
Yeah.
And now I make it from scratch. I should make a song like that.
Please do.
And mushroom gruyere.
Oh,
And then
nice.
People also get to take home a little mason jar with them. Hopefully they get to eat it when they go to concerts later on. And they also
What's in
get
the
to
mason jar? The rillette?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Gorgeous.
How about chocolate mousse cake? Anything?
It's gonna be hard to pack that in your picnic though.
Yeah, not a chocolate mousse, but like a cake, maybe? Like a.
That's why they get the ham pie.
Ham
so
pie.
it's easy.
Oh, I keep forgetting. That's a dessert. I don't even know what that is. Sorry, I was not even thinking dessert on that.
I'm not running down to McDonald's.
When you say ham pie, all I think about is is not a
Thank
very
you.
good pie that's made with ham and then it's deep fried. Is that what it is?
It's with fruits instead, so you can do either or.
So what is it called? Ham pie.
Ham.
Because you can eat it with your hands. instead
Oh,
with a
hand.
fork.
I thought you said ham.
Ham?
Oh, the whole time I hear ham, I'm like,
No hand.
oh, hand pie.
Yes.
Got it.
All right, kids, let's
All
get
right,
rolling.
all
That
right.
was fun.
Thank you. So we have a show called Hot Stove, and these are the Hot Stovette. They're all backup girls.
Yep, we have
like
our
this?
backup girls.
We need them, believe me. All right, Pam, you ready?
Let's do this.
You're doing the intro, or you want me to do the intro?
I think you're the host.
All right.
I'm the color commentary.
Sure. And color you are. I love this dress. This is so cool.
I bought it for Hawaii.
Yeah, it's very hippie-ish, kind of
Yeah.
but summery, very summery, very cool.
Thank you.
Sean, are we ready? All right. Well. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Hot Stove Society radio show here at the Hot Stove Club. I'll call it the Hot Stove Club now.
It is a little bit like a club,
It is like a
a
club.
society and a club.
Exactly. My name is Thierry Roturo. I'm the chef in a hat. And co-hosting with me today is our director of show, Pamela.
Hello, everyone. Pleased to be here while Tom is off for 3 weeks.
Wow. Please do write your complaint and your comments about Tom not being on the show.
Yeah, we want to
That you
hear
miss
all
him.
about
Tell
it.
us how much you miss him. That's what I want to know.
But
because-
most people are very excited about you and your reputation,
Oh,
Jerry.
my reputation.
Mhm.
Let's not go into that.
Oh, okay.
All right. We have a big show today. Pam, you ready for this? We're going to have 2 hours together and we're going to make it fun, right? It's
Yes.
summer. It's finally summer in Seattle, just before the 4th of July weekend. I'm so excited. Okay, we have so many delicious topics today. We have the pick of the season, shelling peas, and finally local, because as we know, we're 3 to 4 weeks behind schedule. And normally peas by the 4th of July are starting to peter
Be
out a little
over.
bit. But this year we're in the beginning of the heart of the season. So it's very nice.
Good timing for the holiday.
Nice to make a, we'll talk later about salads and summer salads. And it's going to be one of the topics today. And definitely peas is on the agenda. So it's one of the very good one. We're going to do an ordinary to extraordinary apply to 4th of July side salad. And that should be fun.
I know.
How do you make
I want to
that-
get that segment back more regularly because you and Tom have inspired so many people to put a little extra touching
Yeah.
in uplifting an ordinary dish. So
Right.
we need to do that more
And
often.
often it's just I think it's just because we have more I guess more time in the kitchen and more thinking about it, so we have better or some extra ideas than people don't have in their home kitchen. They don't, many people are very stuck into, I hear that a lot from home cooks. They're stuck in their world. They always make the same thing and they would love to expand. So yeah, ordinary to extraordinary. Good segment. We're going to also talk about some summer fruit desserts because summer is right around the corner and those fruits are going to be on the market everywhere soon enough.
Blueberries. So
Yeah.
excited for blueberries.
Coming up, we have a cookbook we highly recommend. It's called Grain for Every Season by Portland chef Joshua McFadden, and he will be with us.
Nope, we're just talking about his approach to
We're
grains.
just talking about his book. So it's not going to be on the show, but we'll talk about his book. And by the way, that's a very research book, I would call it. Joshua did an incredible job on putting all those agenda together of how to use the grain.
It's so useful
Yeah.
the way he laid it out.
So again, the book is Grain for Every Season. If you have a chance to get to a bookstore soon enough, get it. We also have author and good friend Cynthia Nims, who is going to join us for 2 segments to share recipes for her new book, Shellfish Cookbook. So I look forward to see Cynthia again. She was my co-author on Rover's Cookbook.
I just read that on her website.
Yeah, she was my co-author, and Cynthia is awesome. She's a very thorough. She's somebody you want with you as a chef because she's very thorough in researching and doing things. When I would give her a recipe, she would remake them at her house, and she would call me, tell me, this, that.
That's what it takes
Yeah.
to make
Yeah.
it work for the home cook. is
I
to
was
have-
that was one of my keys. I wanted to make a Rover's Cookbook that you could actually make at home.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make
That
it
you
just
could
for
use.
chefs. So that's why I love Cynthia for that. She was definitely very thorough about this. So I look forward to talking with her. And then lastly, we'll play our 4th of July edition of Rub with Love, Food for Thought Tasty Trivia with theme questions from our friend Becky Kuzak.
Yes.
Who's Becky Kuzak?
You know Becky. She's a longtime summer camper.
Oh, yeah.
And great.
She's the one who did the questions?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Rub with Love is a handcrafted, versatile line of rubs, sauces, and marinade to give you more confidence in the kitchen. And definitely for this weekend, you should have a bunch of them because That's what we use them for. Every time I open my cupboard, I see all those Rub with Love jars, which, by the way, I bought in the store.
You
Mr.
actually
Douglas.
paid for them?
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
But I love them. I think it's very cool because I often, as a chef, of course, I make my own rub often. I change my rub from time to time because I use the other spice. But I can tell you that having Rub with Love in the kitchen is always an easy one. If I'm taking chicken wings, I just did that yesterday. I took some chicken wing out of the freezer. I'm gonna spray them with the Tokyo rub. I love the Tokyo rub on the chicken wing.
That's a fantastic idea. I haven't used it on chicken yet.
Yeah, it's really good on chicken before. It's really good. So just an example of how to use them.
I just finally used the taco rub on fish tacos, and it works so beautifully. The liminess, I was using rockfish, and perfect complement.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very cool to have a selection of rubs like this. It's very, steamed broccoli always tastes better with a little bit of Rub with Love. Whichever Rub with Love you want. I mean, I've used many of them on steamed broccoli, but I think it's very easy to make steamed broccoli just go up ordinary to extraordinary just with that.
Oh, that our Rub with Love manager Carol's going to be so happy for your advertorial.
Well, that is not. And by the way, this is not Tom Douglas talking. This is Thierry Roturo. All right, taste of the week. What's your taste of? Oh, Pam, what's your taste of the week? I like that.
We were very lucky to get a beautiful dozen eggs dropped off by Jackie from Prosser Farm, but I already had eggs in the refrigerator, so I needed to use them up quickly. And hers, because of the variety of chicken she has, have all these gorgeous colors, those baby blue ones
Sure.
and white. And so I decided to make a pasta salad, but up the egg content and the Oregon Bay shrimp with some charred corn. And I made a little yogurt, mayonnaise, basil dressing. But big chunks of the eggs to highlight them.
How many people ate that?
And I brought some for Diane yesterday too. And
That sounds really delicious.
It was delicious. So thank you for the eggs, Jackie.
Yeah. So I have duck eggs in my fridge, and I'll talk about that later. One of my ex-farmers, she's still a farmer, but I'm not a chef anymore or a restaurateur anymore. But she used to bring us a duck egg, and she brought me duck eggs. And I'll talk about it, how to use it in the kitchen and to up one of our dishes that we need to make extraordinary later. My taste of the week, I've had so many things this week. Then I was like, I need to take this as my taste of the week. And I walked in today and I was like, which one am I going to use? I think I'm going to talk about watermelon, melon that yesterday I had a slice of cantaloupe like melon. It was quite essential summertime. And I don't know, unfortunately, where the melon come from. I don't think it's Eastern Washington. I think it's California. But Kathy bought the melon, and I had a slice of it, and she left it on the counter, not refrigerated.
Thank goodness.
And I came home, and then it was like probably 4 or 5 hours after she cut it. And oh my God, it was so beautiful. It was ripe. It was, it's got all that fragrance. Then when you smell a melon, you go, I love the smell of melon.
Perfume.
And then
they're perfectly ripe.
It was so delicious. And I think that now the farmers market are all over the place, all over the neighborhood. Today is Friday. You can go to Union and MLK. We have a farmers market there. It's called the Madrona Farmers Market. You can have that farmers market, and I'm sure that melons are going to start showing up. Well,
it's a little early.
It's a bit early for local, maybe. Huh?
I think they're still California.
Yeah, California. But anyway, grab a melon if you can at Metropolitan Market was where we get this one. And it was super delicious.
It's time for melons.
I can't wait. Summer is here. All right. What do we have coming up next?
Peak of the season.
Peak of the season. We're going to talk about the tender peas from the pod. I like tender peas from the pod. Coming up next on 97.3 FM Cairo. And you're listening to the Hot Stove Society Radio Show.
Thank you.
There's only two of us applauding. I love it.
Applauding ourselves.
Sean Dottore, maybe you have a backup bank of applauding people.
Yeah, that would be good.
Like maybe something like the back concert of the Rolling Stone or something. That'd be nice. Like, 10,000 people.
Should we just roll right into peas?
Oh yeah, let's pee in the pod. We are back in the kitchen. We are at the Hot Stove Society radio show, and Chef Annie is prepping for lunch today.
For
In case
her picnic class?
if you've never been here to the Hot Stove Society kitchen, this is not my joint, but this is Tom Douglas's joint. But this is a great place to come to either have a class or definitely get together with some friends and have a fabulous time, either for lunch or dinner. They do classes all the time. Check out their calendar. I think it's a very quite essential experience in a kitchen. You're in a real kitchen here. This is beautiful. I love this spot. I love the fact that we come here every Friday to do the show.
And people are so excited to work in an environment with such great equipment.
Yeah,
Between
very professional.
the cutting boards and all of the KitchenAid tools. I mean, they feel a luxurious experience.
Yeah, I mean, nobody would have, most people don't have a kitchen like this at home and definitely not that equipment. So, yeah, I mean, it's a very professional kitchen. It's very cool. All right. Our
On to
segment is on the peas. So, we have fresh peas in the pod, which every year, usually that comes first week of June, early June. This year, it's early July, and this is when they're showing up. So, what do you like to do with peas? Do you like peas?
I had an excellent pea result last night with toasted couscous.
Uh-huh.
I prefer the Israeli,
Right?
the larger
Or the
one.
big one.
The big one.
Yeah.
So toast it
So
first.
everything is the
and-
same size in the bowl.
Exactly. Toast it first in butter, Kerrygold. I was really stepping up with total luxury.
Salted or unsalted?
Salted.
Oh, you do? You do the salted?
I prefer.
Yeah.
And then chicken stock.
Uh-huh.
Finished the couscous and just added the peas without cooking them into the warm couscous
Right.
and butter and stock, and they kept their texture beautifully.
That sounds delicious.
I was struggling a little bit with the shelling. And do you have any tips that makes it go a little bit faster? Do you pull the thread off the side first, or
No, if I'm going to use the pods, which right now, so this is something I wanted to talk about. You should keep the pods because right now the pods are very tender. So at the beginning of the season, you shouldn't be afraid to do this. You take the tip of where it's attached to the branch. You take the tip of that pod and you bend it and you pull it. So now the wire that's holding the pod together is gone. It's a strain basically. It's much better if you're going to eat the pod. So then you pop the peas that are in the pod and you keep the pod to either do a julienne and quickly saute, like, stir fry kind of idea.
for a good crunch factor?
Yeah, crunch factor
Yeah.
in a salad or into anything. At Rovers or at Luke, we used to use so much peas that we had a lot of pods and we'd make a soup with that. So we take the pods and we cook them in a little vegetable stock, blend the whole thing up with a burr mixer, what we call a burr mixer in a restaurant, or hand mixer, or whatever you can use to blend that. Like if you have a Vitamix at home,
Yeah.
it works perfectly fine. You blend the whole thing up, and now you have a pureed pea soup.
I do like
And you
pea
strain
puree,
it.
but I didn't think about using the pod.
Oh, yeah, because the pods are very tender right now. Especially at the beginning of the season, everything is really good and delicious. It's a waste. It's really a shame to throw away those beautiful tender pods.
Uh-oh. I screwed up.
No, you didn't screw
The
up.
next batch.
You will
I'll
know.
keep it. I
You'll
will know.
It's still in season. Don't worry. You get time to redeem yourself. It makes great compost.
That's where they went.
If you're trying to get compost. But I think it's also something you can use. And especially if you go to a farmer's market, I mean, it's not cheap to buy all those fresh vegetables. So use it 100%. You get the peas. You can use the peas in a salad like you just did, or with a couscous or whatever you want to use it for. But you can also use the pod. And last week, when I did that dinner, one of the appetizer hors d'oeuvres that I did, the amuse-bouche, was a shooter of pea soup.
Hot or cold?
Cold.
Cold.
I love cold pea soup.
Okay.
But you have to have good peas for that. You can't have those big starchy, which is another thing. Ask your farmers to pick your peas young, not oversized. I know it
When they
sells.
get starchy,
It's
oh,
gross.
it's gross.
It's just not so good. It's like it just doesn't taste the same at all.
Yeah, the
So
elegance is the sweetness of
yeah,
the small ones.
the sweetness and the tenderness, of that pea, we still have a little bit of a crunchiness. I mean, young tender peas, you blanch them for 1 minute or not even. It's like if they're very nice and young and tender, you don't need to blanch them. So anyway, I did a shooter of that with a little bit of lime. I mean, lime creme fraiche on top. So you
Perfect
just
topping.
yeah, and then a little bit of bronze fennel on top, copper fennel, and it was
Picture perfect.
so you just take a shooter of that. It's really a nice little appetizer. I couldn't eat a big bowl of pea soup. I mean, that's a little bit much, but a nice little cup is nice. So one idea for using all those tender pods is to make a soup with that because I think that makes a nice puree.
And what you said you use them a lot at Rovers. Was it
Yeah,
as a side vegetable
as a
or
again a shooter
okay.
or as an appetizer, as one of the course. So I used to do pea soup in a bowl, like very thin, with smoked guinea fowl.
That would be so pretty.
So well, it's pretty, but it's also delicious because you get the smokiness. Pretty. It's funny how people always get caught on the pretty, and I always
It tastes
always
better if it's pretty.
yes, yeah, but how disappointing if it's not. It's like making it. I always used to say, making a pretty dish is the simplest thing in the world. Making it taste good is the hardest thing in the world.
Absolutely.
It's like you gotta eat the darn thing. So anyway, it was a very nice dish that I used to do as a first course for a multi-course dinner. Just a little bit, and you could also, if you wanted to get really fancy, you could do like just a tiny bit of gelatin into your pea soup, and then put that on the bottom of a bowl and use that as a miroir, as a base.
I
And
don't
then
understand. What does the gelatin do?
so it basically turn it into a almost like a jelly of peas,
Oh,
but not sweet, obviously savory. And then you put on top of that, you could use a nice little hot smoked salmon, and then you put that on top of your jelly of pea, and you serve that cold and shaved pickled fennel, and you put that together, and it's really really delicious.
all the three perfect things:
Yeah,
peas and salmon and fennel.
yeah. It was especially because lightly pickled on the fennel, so you get that kind of like bitey of the vinegar in the fennel, just light, and then you mix that with the pea that are very sweet, and then of course the smoked salmon. So it can be a great way to use peas. But peas are simple peas. The most important thing is shuck the peas, keep the pods, make more with the pods, make a puree, make a soup, whatever. Even if it's not as bright green as you want it to be, it's still a beautiful pea flavor. That would be my suggestion for that. And you can serve it hot. It doesn't have to be cold. A little bit of crumbled goat cheese on top, maybe some croutons, and you get a wonderful soup. You don't need to go any further than that. Fresh basil is in season now in my garden, in everybody's garden. Chives are everywhere.
I love mint and peas
Yeah,
too.
mint.
Buttered,
yeah.
minted peas.
Yeah.
Is it?
I went to France and I came back, and my lemon balm, talking about mint, it's not mint, but it's from the mint family. I have a lemon balm that took over my one section of my garden. I'm like, holy mackerel.
What
It's
are you
like,
gonna do with it all?
I'm still thinking. I'm like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna whack it, most of it, take it down, and use and dry it up and use it as an infusion.
That's what I was thinking. If you brought it here, we'd make some syrup out of it.
Yeah, I'll bring you
A bushel full.
oh yeah, I bring you enough so you can make infusion. All right.
Because we'd love to have it for simple syrup for spritzers
Yeah.
for summer.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I got plenty of things that are crazy in my garden. Um, so peas. What else would you be? So one thing also, we stayed in the vegetarian section, but you can definitely add some peas with bacon. I mean,
I know. We
you
can't
take
forget
some,
that.
and I don't mean thin, crispy bacon. I mean more like half an inch to 3/4 inch thick
A
cubes,
lardoon.
cubes like lardon, and then you do that with you can do the peas with the frisee salad, or with, actually right now there is beautiful young tender greens that are everywhere. We have some in our garden, some red lettuce, some oak, oak lettuce, that's called red oak lettuce. And so anyway, it's definitely another way to pump it up and make your peas look
They're friendly. Bacon
well,
and
bacon
peas
and peas
are very
and
friendly.
morel, of course, starts already season. Oh my god!
That's the tragedy of this. The way this season rolled out is the morels were done by the time the peas came on.
Yeah. We're so weird. It's like we're so far behind. Okay, coming up next, we got to move on to the next segment. We have our cold and wet spring delay. Oh no, never mind. What are we doing next? Sorry.
Ordinary to
Oh
extraordinary.
yeah, we're going on
Taking-
to taking our July 4th salad and we're going to make them extraordinary. All right, stay with us on Hot Stove Society Radio Show. We're here on Cairo 97.3 FM.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm like, oh shit. Okay, sorry. We get really busy in the peas. Say what?
He's amazing. He's amazing.
I'm not amazing. I'm just talking food. This is like,
Oh, Terry, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the rub.
you're making fish taco at this time of the day. What time is breakfast?
We're coming over.
Where is she? Fish taco. She must be on the East Coast, no?
No, he's right here in Seattle.
Oh, she's making fish taco, but she probably hasn't made them yet. Then 9:30 in the morning. I'm like, yes. I hate to see what's going to be for lunch. All right, so Coleslaw, fruit salad. Yep. We are back in the kitchen at the Hot Stove Society Radio Show.
Happy
We are-
4th of July weekend.
Happy 4th of July weekend. Yes. All of you, I hope, stay away from danger and get close to the grill, but not too close. And I can't believe it. We're gonna finally use our barbecue.
You're just
it's-
breaking it out?
No, I used it once so far.
For what? What did you make?
I made a leg of lamb about a month ago when we had that spur of like 3 days of nice warm weather. I was like, oh yes, it's summer. And sure enough, I covered my barbecue again. And sure enough, it's been raining in the whole month. And I wasn't here. I was in France too. So, but I'm gonna break the barbecue. I took out. I have 2 pheasants that I'm gonna open.
Pheasant?
Yeah, I have 2 pheasants. I'm gonna grill the pheasant. I'm gonna marinate them. And my brother-in-law is coming over tomorrow with his wife and his son, and I'm gonna grill those pheasant and use some make some grilled vegetable. Like when I turn on my barbecue,
Everything goes
it's
on it.
usually onion, bell peppers,
Yes.
zucchini, eggplant, things that I can grill and I can keep in the fridge, make a nice little salad or pasta or whatever in the next few days once we eat. I always have that when I grill is what I do. I use my grill all the way.
Well, you need to get more use out of your charcoal. Tom and
Yeah.
I were both talking about this new brand that Ballard Market has that burns for a long time. So if you could have something in reserve, like some vegetables for another meal, to take advantage of that great heat, so smart.
Yeah, if you're doing gas barbecue, that's a different story because you can turn on and off.
Right.
But if you're doing wood like I do, or like Tom does, coal or wood, mesquite or whatever, it takes a long time to burn off
Yes.
that heat is in there for a while.
So
So
time to fill the grill with onions. That's what I would do.
oh yeah, I mean I literally do tons of onion ring. I mean about an inch and a half to 2 inch thick onions. I take my onions and I cut them in about 3, and then I put that on the grill, and I use that for salads later.
Do you blanch them first?
No,
Okay.
raw. The only thing I do in all my vegetables is I put them in a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then I do the rub. If I have a rub, I'm using, for example, on my pheasant, I'm gonna make a rub for the pheasant using fresh herb mixed with rub, and put that on top of the pheasant overnight, tonight, and then tomorrow when I grill it, I will remove things that can burn too easily. I will make my barbecue really hot, and I will mark my pheasant really well, and then turn the heat down, and then cook it slower. I start high, but I finish much lower
Mm-hmm.
because pheasant is not very fatty,
No,
So
I
you got to be
know.
careful not to dry it up. But it's a delicious meat.
That's what I
It's
would worry about is drying it out.
yeah, it's a good thing to worry about, but you don't want to go too. Think chicken.
Yeah.
Think chicken, and you'll have, it's not it's a tighter meat uh, in general. So that's why it dries up. It dries up because if you get rid of all that moisture that's in that bird, you will have a dry piece of meat. But it's not it's not in order to make it dry, you have to work actually at it. So it's not this, just think intelligently, grill it high, start high to sear it or give it a nice roast, but then turn
And
it
then
down.
gentle.
Gentle, very gentle,
Gentle.
finish very gentle. And so I start the bird, I sear it, I move it on the side, put all my vegetable on the grill all my vegetable till they're totally tender, move those on the side. By now, my heat has come down from 350 to about 250. And at 250, I put the bird back on, put the lid back on, let it cook very slowly. In 45 minutes, it's not that big of a bird, it's like a chicken. In 45 minutes, you get a bird that's cooked. 45 minutes, maybe a bit longer. And then you have everything, and then I put everything back under the lid, cover it up, get everything
Warm it
hot,
up.
and then serve it.
Your guests are very lucky. They're going to have a feast.
I'm looking for, believe me, I'm eating with them. Just
Yeah,
so
you're
it's just so
doing it
it's
for
clear.
yourself.
Just so it's clear. I cook for my guests, but I'm always thinking, hey, I'm gonna sit down and have some too. So don't mess it up.
All right. And now, ordinary to extraordinary side dishes for 4th of July.
So first thing that comes to mind is potato salad. I love potato salad, but I love potato salad a certain way. And
I can't wait to hear.
I like bacon in my potato salad. It's funny because I haven't eaten much bacon in the last 3 years, 2 years. I don't eat bacon. Kathy often would make an egg and bacon for breakfast. I'm like, no, thank you, I don't want any. But anyway, yeah, no, I mean, I can eat. I love bacon, but I don't.
I like it as a seasoning,
Yeah,
as opposed to just eating whole pieces
right.
of it.
I'm also very peculiar about. I don't like paper thin, crispy, burnt bacon. That crunchy bacon. That's not bacon to me. But whatever. That's just me. Again, the Frenchy style. I guess if Tom was here, I can already hear him. Oh, you're so French. I'm like,
Thank
maybe,
goodness.
maybe that's what it is. But I like my bacon in most cases to be more thicker and to not be cooked all the way like crispy. I like to have a little chew in my bacon. That comes from that salad lyonnaise kind of like lardon and so on and so forth. But anyway, with potato salad, make some nice little lardon and put that into your potato salad. I'm a big fan of that. I love fresh herbs, lots of chives, especially right now. I got blossom on all my chives. Take the blossoms and put that in your salad because those are very tasty.
And the color contrast.
Yeah,
is
it's
really
beautiful
nice
color
with potatoes.
contrast. So you get greens, you get purple, you get yellow from the potatoes. Bacon.
Skin on in your potato salad or peeled?
Oh no, peeled. I peel them.
Okay.
Yeah. I peel them only because I mean it depends on the potato. If I was getting the youngest tender potatoes, I would not peel them. But in most cases, it's probably going to be Yukon Gold. It depends on what I find on the market, but Yukon Gold is my guess. I'm going to peel them, and then of course it's all in the aioli, aioli with a little harissa in it, because I love a little heat in there. And this is where my duck egg come in, hard boiled duck egg. Now duck egg
That is elevated.
a duck egg is much. It takes a little bit longer. When you do a chicken egg, for me it's 10 minutes in boiling water, 9 minutes actually in boiling water. Take it out, cool it off gently on the cold water, peel it off, cut it in half, and you get the perfect yolk, cooked perfectly. To me,
9
Now, for the
minutes, I
duck
think,
egg-
is right. Because I just saw a great chart on all recipes for the number of minutes and how it cooks the yolk.
Yeah.
And, they say if you like that chalky, whiter yolk, go all the way to 12. But
Right.
I think we're more on the 9
I'm
minute.
I'm more into. I need to have some texture in my
Yeah.
and some softness in my egg.
Yeah.
I don't like the chalky, dry yolks. I'm not that person. And then so for the egg, the duck egg usually takes to do a 9 minute chicken egg equivalent. It's usually 12 to 13 minutes for a duck egg. It's much bigger,
Yeah.
much the skin, the shell is harder and everything. So it takes a couple more minutes. So, but I only do them at 10 minutes. Hard boiled duck eggs, cooled off, and then it's one of the few time of the year where I use that egg slicer. You know, the plastic egg slicer. I love that tool. I think it's cool.
Those are great.
So
Yeah, and they
my
make
mom used to use it all the time. But I cut it one way and then I whack it in the middle.
oh.
So it's a
you-
half a circle
Mhm.
or a half moon, I should say. And then
Very pretty.
I put that in my potato salad and aioli harissa, chives, bacon, um, parsley. I like Italian parsley, especially from the garden. Um, and that's it. I decorate usually with edible flowers. So this time of year, I have lots of borage in my backyard. Borage all over the potato salad. It's nice and purple. Again, nice coloring. And that's it. Lots of pepper and salt.
Extraordinary. Do we have time to hear your version of coleslaw?
Coleslaw. So
Are you mayonnaise or vinegar?
I'm both.
Oh.
See, I put vinegar in my mayonnaise, so my mayonnaise is a little bit more. It's not just sweet because I'm not a big fan of. I've had coleslaw where it's like so sweet. I'm like, no, I don't want that. I want my coleslaw to still have some hufta. You know, it's like I like to do the mayonnaise with vinegar because it gives the texture of the mayonnaise is what so cool about mayonnaise.
Makes it the slaw.
Yeah, and then the vinegar is what gives it the hoof. You know, it gives it the personality. Lots of pepper. Lots of pepper.
Pepper's critical.
Cracked pepper in there, beautiful, and then just a little salt. And I'm also a fan of making it a little bit earlier, so it has time to really impregnate the cabbage and get into that flavor, you know. And then fresh herbs. Again, you have tons of chives, tons of parsley. Put that in that because
I think it needs the green
yeah,
to
and
lift it up.
well,
Some lemon and green to finish.
at least it gives you an impression you have vegetables in there.
Well, we know we're supposed to be eating more cabbage too.
No, of course. No, but cabbage is good. I like a good coleslaw. I definitely. Also, one thing I like to put in there is julienne pickled carrots. It's always nice
Pickled
to have.
is a great idea. That would give it a little more snap.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have to add vinegar to your mayonnaise. Just do mayonnaise and pickled vegetable, so it balances it up. But I'm not a fan of just straight mayo.
No, it
It's
needs
too
more.
sweet for me.
Well, I think you got too extraordinary on both of those dishes.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll get to the rest of our segment one other day. We'll keep some for next week. All right, coming up, Easy Breezy's Summer Desserts. You're listening to the Hot Stuff Society radio show on Cairo 97.3 FM.
Annie is
Annie's running.
she's running because
She's like the little rabbit over there. Look at her.
I told her that during the segment we wanted to eat some of the semi-fredo that she made
Oh, yeah.
for class last week.
Where is the semi-fredo?
Did you taste it, Sean? Her semi-fredo. Oh, Sean wants it too, please. It's right now. Hand pies and semi-fredo. Did you see this article? She took blue ribbon in 25 of the 80 categories at the fair, and nobody could find her. She doesn't have any social media or an email address or a cell phone. Both of these stories. YouTube friends, I don't know if you got the Seattle Times today, but there are two charming stories I'm telling Sean about. The woman who dominates the fair with 25 out of 80 contest categories. And then the other one is cemetery cuisine. Cherished recipes can live in stone. They put their grandmother's cookie recipe on her headstone.
That ties right in with the whole pass it down.
It does. Tom's going to love this. This is what we have to do. No. One's DC and one is in Virginia. But it's they're both uplifting, and it was good to see because the paper this week has got a lot of bad news. So We'll be right back.
All right. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing?
Perfect timing.
We're actually testing some homemade.
Welcome. How about semi-Fredo? We're on YouTube Live. Yeah.
You gonna tell us how she made it? Did you try it? You need to try it. Oh! I thought you were sitting down to talk. Ça va, Cynthia? Ah, voyage. Oh, ben ouais. Non, c'était pas trop mal. Right now,
You're gonna sit there. That's you. And enjoy.
you're in. We have to do one Where are we? We have to do one segment, and then you will be. Oh, wait, she's not before. Well, we can
We've
put her.
got two to do. We're gonna do the dessert right now for the last one.
And then the grain chef.
Yeah, to open the hour.
Okay.
So then she's 10, 15,
Okay, cool. No, Tom is not here today, or next week, or the following week. I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Where is he going?
Well, today he's visiting his mom.
Okay.
He lives on the East Coast, and then next week he's going on a golf trip to Scotland. Yeah, he's very lucky to go to such a beautiful place.
I'm going to Ireland next spring. I know. Oh, I'm going to Morocco in September first.
Of this year.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a tour. Me and 16 people. This is my retirement. I get paid to go on vacation. I go on vacation with people and I get paid. You know what?
He worked hard for it, I guess.
I work hard for my money. So hard. This is
From the brilliance of
you see that big chef over there, that big chef Honey? She's the one who made that.
fresh mangoes, fresh blueberries.
French blueberries. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it, Pam.
We got to get ready for our lunch class. Sean, what do you think about that? Semi-Fredo is an incredible.
Oh, so good. And the mango's perfectly ripe. I don't.
Yeah.
It's hard to get.
Yeah. When it's
Annie,
okay.
you got gelatin in there? What do you have? What do you call when you cook egg white and sugar together? What kind of meringue? I like that. I like how you say egg white and sugar cooked together on the stove. I'm like, we call that a meringue where I come from.
When she described it to me, she said she made a meringue. So
Yeah. No, it's very delicious, bro. Congratulations. All right. We are back in the kitchen at the Hot Stove Society
Oh, yeah.
here at the Hot Stove Society Club. We call it the club now.
Terry's renamed it.
I'll
While
name
Tom's
it the
gone.
club because it is clubbish.
But everyone's welcome in our club.
Of course.
Yes.
There is no membership.
Nope.
Just come on in.
Just enthusiasm.
Exactly. We're at the Hotel Andra at the corner of 4th and Virginia, downtown Seattle. And we're here every Friday from 9 to 11. We have live audience most Fridays. And so just go onto the site,
Get your ticket.
get your ticket, come
Have
on in.
breakfast with us.
Have breakfast with us. Bring your friends. Make it a morning and little shopping downtown. And then here we go. We got a staycation downtown Seattle.
Ideal.
All right, we're talking. What are we talking? We're talking.
Crave-worthy summer desserts.
I'm losing track of what I'm talking about since I'm talking about something else. All right, we're talking about desserts, yes. And what we have in front of us right now is a semi-Fredo of mango and blueberry, both fresh, both done by Chef Annie here at the stove. Absolutely delicious.
Couldn't
Scrumptious.
be more summery
So
with its fresh flavors.
Exactly. So pureed blueberry. Not you pureed the blueberry, Annie? Yeah. So you take the fresh blueberry and you puree them, and you do a mixture of meringue, Italian meringue, and egg yolks and cream, and then you fold the whole thing together. You put that into a mold and you put it in the freezer, and you have this terrine look like kind of desserts, and you can slice it and put on everybody's plate. And if you're as creative as Chef Annie, you take a mango and make a flower out of it, and you put that on top. that was absolutely delicious. It's very nice. It's light.
I think that's what you were looking for when you suggested this segment. Is
Correct.
How do you make the seasonal transition to
Right.
a lighter dessert?
Correct. Lighter. I was looking for lighter, seasonal. So using the blueberry, we have strawberries right now. Semi-Fredo strawberry is also delicious. Get the garden strawberry, the one that are so delicious, almost ready to go. Get them at the farmer's market, leave them on the counter overnight, or put them, wash them, cut them in small pieces, a little bit of vanilla sugar, leave that on the counter overnight with a towel on top so the mosquitoes don't come in there. And then the next morning, you'll have this wonderful melting strawberry, slightly vanilla-y, and you can use that in your semi-Fredo as a puree.
That would be
and
so
then
wonderful.
with some little chunks in there. Put that in your semi-Fredo because strawberries is delicious also. This is the time of the year where I like strawberry. The rest of the year, it's a pet peeve of mine. I go crazy.
They're
I go crazy.
so styrofoamy. You can tell that when you pick them up, if you are silly enough to buy them in the winter, there's no aroma, and they're tough. It's this time of year.
It is
when they
unfortunately to me the proof of how far we have gone the wrong way into eating and to producing and into not paying attention to that detail anymore. It's like we need to go back to strawberries in Seattle are only good between, if you're lucky on a good year, not this year, but on a good year, it's usually June 1st to after the 4th of July, and then another season towards the Labor Day weekend. That's the only time you have fresh, beautiful strawberry around here.
Are you a shortcake fan, or
I love
do you
shortcake.
like a pound cake?
I
better with your
actually
strawberries?
like an olive oil almond cake.
Oh,
Completely
yes.
vegan. And I was talking with Kathy yesterday. We were talking about something like this, and remembering, she was reminding me that she saw a video or something, and where somebody made like an angel food cake kind of idea with fresh strawberry and everything, and a whipped cream topping, and then took a wine glass, and then took the wine glass to use as a pastry cutter and turn it upside down, and now you get a trifle.
Brilliant trick. So yes,
And I saw that many years ago. The only thing I couldn't really cope with in the restaurant business is if you break the glass,
ooh,
you're
big
just
loss.
basically done with the cake.
Yeah, you've got to throw the
So
whole
it's
thing
kind
out.
of, but if you're careful and you use, use your glass and be very careful on your cutting board, you cut your cake and your topping, a light cake and a topping, and you use the glass to cut it, turn it upside down. Now you have a trifle, and all you have to do is put a little meringue on top or whatever you want to do. Put a topping of fresh fruit, and you get a trifle, and then you can make many glasses like that. Get them ready for when your guests show up. You're like, look at that, I'm ready.
You're ready. What would you do? You could do it with raspberries as well. Yeah, anything.
Anything, it would. I mean, coming up, we have raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries. I mean, those are great. To me, that's what I think about Bastille Day. I think about, which is mid-July. By then, we have blackberry, the first blackberry in the region, and then we have blueberry, and we have raspberry. So you use those three berries and you put them into on top of a beautiful light cake of, like I said, you could do the olive oil cake, almond cake, and then you make a nice whipped cream or a meringue, like a light meringue, and put all the vegetable, all the fruit in here. Then you take the glass and then you cut it and then you put it upside
You
down.
just can't get enough of that.
Well, you know what I like about the glass upside down like this? What I like about that idea is you take a nice booze to go with that. So in this case, you could make a mixture of, you could take a sweet wine like a Pinot de Charente or something like this. You could even add a little puree of berries in that. And then you put that over the cake. So the cake is now soaked into that beautiful liquor. And then you get the berries underneath. It's disgusting.
What about
Disgustingly good.
a fruit tart
Oh, fruit tart.
with
So
raspberry,
French. So French.
with a vanilla cream or
Pastry
a,
cream.
a pastry cream?
Yeah. So the pastry cream, I would finish it with whipped cream. So you make a pastry cream, which is still pretty stiff. And then you do whipped cream on the side, vanilla whipped cream. So vanilla, sugar, whip little cream, obviously. Whip the whole thing together, mix it fold it into your pastry cream. Put that on the bottom of your of your tart shell that has been pre-baked.
Pre-baked.
And then you decorate with all your berries,
That's the
raspberry, blackberry,
exciting
blueberry, raspberry again, whatever you do, all the fruits, and powdered sugar right on top. Et voila. And then this is when you use, with Tom, every year we talk about anise sop. And I used some last week. I have a pot of anise sop.
Oh, you need to bring us some of that too,
You need some of that?
with the lemon verbena.
and
Please.
the lemon balm.
Then the lemon balm.
I have lemon balm. That's what I have the most. So anyway, you put that, a little anise sop right on top of your tart.
The decorating with the colors. Do you look at that magazine Cherry Bomb? They do so much with cakes and tarts, and engage with bakers who do beautiful symmetrical designs.
What's the name of the magazine?
Cherry Bomb?
No, I don't know that one.
I'm gonna get you a copy.
Cherry bomb.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like the bomb.
It is the bomb.
The bomb.
And their dessert segments and on their Instagram are eye-poppingly gorgeous.
So to finish the fruit dessert thing, the other simple thing to do is obviously a good fruit salad. Now, start a good fruit salad coming up. We have watermelon. I love watermelon when it's beautiful and ripe in the summertime. A good chunky, chunks of watermelon. And then you can go berries. You can do peaches, nectarine. We have those coming up. Apricots, I haven't seen any of it. What are we having, Shafani?
Sorry for the late.
What is that?
That is strawberry and blueberry fried hand pie.
To end our yep.
Say it again.
Strawberry and blueberry fried hand pie,
That's
not
what it-
ham pie.
Yeah. No.
So earlier she was telling me she was making hand pie, and I thought she
Might
was saying,
be kind of hot because it just came out of the fryer.
So there's strawberry in here. Is that what you're saying?
Strawberries and blueberries.
And
We
blueberry.
were just talking about blueberries.
Right.
Yeah.
And hand pie, just so everybody's clear on this, it's not ham, it's hand pie. I thought you were saying ham pie. I was like, ooh, that sounds disgusting. But okay,
Inspired
now I
by
got it.
the McDonald's dessert, but taken to another level when Chef Annie does it.
That does not look. I hope they don't serve that at McDonald's because I'm going to go there. All right. And then to finish the fruit, salad,
yes,
conversation.
please.
Dicing watermelon, even melon, in fruit salad, honey, chia seeds, toasted almonds, fresh anise hyssop, julienne in there. All those things
Gorgeous.
are mint. There is all kind of mint in the garden right now. All kind of very fine julienne mint in there, and put the whole thing together. Use honey instead of sugar if you don't want sugar, or use vanilla sugar. But when I refer to vanilla sugar, it's because in my house we have sugar and we have vanilla sugar, where all the vanilla beans I've used over the last 30 years with my wife. We keep some of it in brandy to make more vanilla extract, but we also keep the other half in sugar, so we have sugar vanilla.
What a great habit to get into.
Well, after 30 years, you collect quite a few beans, I can tell you that. We have a lot. I mean, some of them.
How
I'm
long
sure.
does it take for the sugar to pick up the vanilla characteristic?
Probably a month. But I gotta go. We gotta move on to the next segments so we can pick up the pace. We're on top of the hour, so next hour we have a beautiful show coming up. Stay with us over the news, and when we come back, we'll have Cynthia Nims, a wonderful local author of
In the
Shellfish
house.
Cookbook, in the house. Stay with us on Caro 97.3 FM. See you soon. You got to give me that 10 seconds before it's zero, because Pam goes, and how long does it take on the sugar? I'm like, he gave me zero already. So you gotta come all the way here so she can see you. It's like Tom always laugh. Tom always laugh at me when you go like this, and I go, so Tom, how long are you gonna be gone? He's like, zero means we're down. You get the 2, you get the 1, you get the 0. Yeah, but
There it was.
you know what? I didn't need
Perfect
anything,
timing.
but I definitely now feel like I do need it. So this is like
Oh, we got one quick one to do.
we don't do anything quick. That was a myth.
Oh, yeah. You've already done your marking.
It looks really cool. I mean, very intense. I like the research on the.
Those are that I just discovered those yesterday.
She's a grain lady, so. Annie, delicious. What kind of dough is this? So McDonald's says little pockets like this? Oh. So I thought, what was Tom talking about when he said they were frying them? Yeah.
What are you talking about?
He was saying, oh, those are fried at McDonald's.
I think they are.
He just said they're baked.
Good for them. But I thought
That was a right. It's probably fried and very sweet. If you like them as a kid. Uh, yeah. We were gone for almost 4 weeks. Terrible. Terrible. But I wouldn't want to give that job to anybody else. No, it was sensational. Next, Morocco.
You are a man about the world.
You know what? I don't know how much longer I got on this planet.
I know.
I want to try to see if it's round. I've got trips to South Africa. I've got Ireland. I've got Portugal next year. Italy and Portugal together. Actually, we're gonna do 4 days in Italy and then.
I was so stunned by how much I love Portugal. Yeah, it's yeah, so cool.
See, I want to go. We're gonna do Lisbon and then go like this. You know how the coast is like this. Lisbon is here. We're gonna go like this and then go to Porto and then back along the coast.
Yes, that's exactly what we did.
And you know, on, excuse me, on the map, it looks like this distance would be like 800 miles. It's like 2 hour drive. And it's not that.
And there's all those hot surfers. Yeah, yeah. They've got quite a surfing culture.
Well, they have that famous Nazara,
Yeah.
which is the 100-foot wave. Yeah. Well, that's over there in Portugal. It's a reason to go for the wave.
Not the roast pork. Not the pork.
No, not the clam and yeah, no, not for the sardines or the anchovies. I was there 45 years ago, so I don't think it has changed very much.
No, that's what the reason I got excited about going is because I met Mr. Symington, who runs the Dow Port House, and the attitude that they have towards legacy, and they only declare port vintages when it is a superior vintage, and they take that so seriously because critics will say, well, why don't you declare every year a vintage port year? But they said, because when people are drinking these, it's going to be my grandchildren, and we can't dishonor them. So they've got this long view of life and heritage that I respect. Yeah.
I have a 63. No, pardon me. I have a 57 in my cellar that I need to drink.
Is that your birth year?
No, I'm not that old. I'm 59.
Oh, I would. The hills.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, it's supposed to be absolutely beautiful, the whole Douro River. Yeah, no, I want to Portugal, and I'm definitely going to see if there is a way to maybe anchor down over there. Yeah, on the beach. I just need a barbecue. But that's all I need. I need a grill outside. Yeah, a tree, some water, a nice little house, one bedroom, one bathroom, and one kitchen. That's all I need.
Yeah, what about What
Yeah,
about
no,
us?
the reason for the one bedroom is why are you getting only one bedroom? It's like, I don't want them to show up every week. But we'll have a tent outside, a big tent. You can sleep outside. Oh, hey, no problem. You're welcome, though.
All right.
All right. Here we are again in the Hot Stove Society radio show. We are in the Hot Stove Society Club, and where they do tons of cooking demo. My name is the chef in the hat, Thierry Roturo, and my co-host, Pamela
Yes.
Binkley.
Happy to be at the mic today while Tom is traveling and getting to sing songs with Terry. It's a beautiful way to start your Friday.
Thank you for staying with us for the second hour here. We have a big show again. We have a big hour, and we're going to be talking about Josh McFadden's book, Grain Forever, for every season. Not forever, but yeah, forever. But for every season is the name of the book. And we're going to talk about that first. And then we'll have Cynthia Nim, wonderful author, writer, chef, co-author, whatever. She's awesome,
And she's here with us in the
and
studio,
she's
which
with
makes
us
it
in
even
the
better.
studio, so I can't say anything bad. Number one, but number two, she's awesome, and she's going to talk about her new book, Shellfish Book. I can't wait to hear all that because I love shellfish. So, and we finish with our tasty trivia
Fourth
and
of July edition.
4th of July edition. It's going to be fabulous. I can't wait to hear about potato salad. Um, that's what I think when I think 4th of July. I think potato salad. But first, let's talk about this book on the market. This is a brand new book, right?
Yes.
And it's called Grain for Every Season. It's written by Joshua McFadden from Portland.
Yes, and those of you who have made the trip down hopefully have eaten at Ava Jean's, his flagship restaurant. But he, as much as a restaurateur, he is also a farmer. So he's got deep root connections for all of his produce. And um, this work is the result of some inspiration he took from studying at an institute in Italy in an Alice Waters program where he first fell in love with farro. And as you have heard me often say, it is the grain that I rely on the most too.
I
And
love farro. I mean,
I
I've
love
used
it in so many ways.
it's a very versatile grain to use. It's very delicious, sweet. It's got great texture. You can roast it, you can blanch it, you can put it in salad, put it as a garnish, as a side. I mean, it's a definitely a very versatile product.
Yeah. So the orientation that Josh has taken, his opening in the book, because he's encouraging use as whole grain, so not the refined versions that are the commodity products that we
Right.
see. And his um, opening line in the book is, a whole grain is one of nature's many ingenious creations, compact, sturdy, self-sufficient, and fortunately for us animals, delicious and nutritious. And so the way he's organized the book is to help you think through how to use the grains in every season, because I
Right.
think a lot of us think of farro or millet or bulgur, the more common ones, as something we turn to in the fall and winter.
Huh.
When in fact, because of their versatility and nutrition, there are treatments that make them so enjoyable through spring and summer as well. So he's got these ingenious charts in the book that explain variations for each season and how to rotate your fresh vegetables and spices. Why don't you take a look at some of those categories of variations?
So the different categories and he offers in terms of using those grains is aromatics. So which makes total sense because you have some. I can think that, for example, quinoa, which is I don't know if you consider that a grain, but I would consider that a grain. Smells very differently. There's a different aromatics that farro, for example, adds. Those are
Absolutely.
two different, very aromatic. Then he has herb spices. So he uses different type of herbs and spices to marry to that grain specifically, and that's a very good help for most people because a lot of people are they don't know where to go. Step
Yeah,
two.
they get dead-ended.
Yeah, they're gonna cook some quinoa and go, what do I do next?
What's going to lift it up?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a very good idea. It talks about the protein as well, and he talks about the vegetable, which goes well with, depend on the season that you are in, using that grain, what's best vegetable to go with, and that's a very helpful idea. It also talks about the liquid, what you can do with it, like chicken broth, vegetable broth,
It makes such a big difference to change your liquids.
of course.
And I
Yeah.
mean, just that subtle thing of moving maybe from a mushroom broth to a chicken broth.
Or from
Uh,
water to a
or-
vegetable broth.
Yeah.
As simple as that. It's like you just up the kitty a little bit and give it some different flavor. Same with fresh spices and herbs. What herb you use makes a big difference. If you use juniper, you're gonna have a very different flavor than if you use curry or anise or those different herbs. So and then they of course have the finishing the timing it takes to cook it, and then the finishing. For example, he has lemon juice, grated lemon zest, um, raw corn kernel, things like this. It's very interesting, and I think he did a lot of work, a lot of research to plan those
So
charts. And I think it's a very helpful tool. Just the chart itself is a very helpful tool to just get out of the box. To not just have the grain, but to have the grain and make the next step.
Exactly.
I think it's very cool.
And he, much like with his first book, Six Seasons, he has a lot of advice on how to build your larder so that you are prepared to make these pivots and flavoring adjustments. Because if you've got a nice spice cabinet, good oil variety, some good frozen stocks, you've got.
Go to a farmer's market, ask a farmers when do they get grains, fresh grain in the summertime, when they harvest the wheat, when they harvest the farro, like a bluebird grain farm and all that stuff. And then put those away, like you just said, put them in jars, seal them, put them away, and then use them throughout the year as in your larder. Just you do that. I used to use farro for breakfast every morning for many years, and just warm up some almond milk, toasted almond, put that with the farro, a little bit of honey. That was my breakfast.
What a nutritional way to start the day. You were ready for anything.
And then I changed to quinoa, but that did not last as long.
No.
Quinoa is not as, I don't like quinoa as much. The flavor of quinoa is a bit annoying after a while. It's not very, it's too hippie-ish for me. I don't get it. But
there's no quinoa in my house.
But farro is definitely delicious. And you can also use farro as a side garnish during the season. First thing that comes to mind is locally in the fall, sauteed mushroom and farro with nuts. And, that's a great way to do it. And a segue with the peas we were talking earlier on the show. If you listen to the show earlier, peas and farro is delicious. Great combination. So that's for the book. Grain
Go out
for
and get
every season. Get it if you don't have it. And go check out Joshua in Portland if you want to. But most importantly, get the book. If you're into grain, this is a very good helper. Coming up next, we're going to have our dear friend Cynthia Nim here, cookbook author, especially of the last cookbook, Shellfish. We're going to talk about lots of local shellfish, I'm sure. I look forward to it. Stay with us on Caro 97.3 FM.
Yes.
Sorry, Sean. Tom is not here. We're going to have a 2.5 show today. 2.5 hour show. You know what it is? It's going to be less of country USA. I like that. Pam is like,
So, are you familiar with these kind of mics? You just want to be a couple inches, 2 or 3 inches from the actual head of the mic there. And
she's just like me, not very tall. Every time I come,
well,
Sean,
the mic stands are a little.
Sean always make my mics over here. He has great expectation from me to be 6 foot tall. Like,
So a couple inches, you said?
Yeah.
Is that all right? Okay. Do you need this, Pamela?
I'll get it out.
Okay.
summertime, when the semi-Fredo is so delicious. You're beautiful. Cool. It's been out for a little while, right?
March.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing it. Très excitant.
Assez délicieux quand même. Au début déjà, tous les
So-
coquillages, hein.
Avant Shellfish, you did. I got to write down the.
The other two that were most recent are oysters and crab.
Yeah.
So they were single subject, all about those two different.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
And then this one includes them, but the other range of shellfish just to cover more general territory for, for a larger audience of folks that maybe don't love.
All right, ready?
Ready, Freddie?
We are back in the kitchen of the Hot Stove Society radio show here in the Hot Stove Society Club, also known as a cooking school. My name is Thierry Rotero. I'm the chef in a hat.
Pamela Hinckley, producer, sitting in for Tom Douglas, and we're so excited to have Cynthia Nims with us right now.
Hello, Cynthia.
Hello, Thierry. Hello,
Nice to
Pamela.
see you.
Oh, and you two need to speak a little more French together.
Ça
'cause
va?
that-
Oui, ça va. Oui, ça fait tellement plaisir de te voir après
Moi aussi.
beaucoup de temps quand même. On ne s'est pas vu
Oui.
depuis un petit moment. quand
Ça
même.
fait un bout de temps.
Un bout de temps. Et
Mais je suis très heureux que tu sois là. C'est
ouais,
très
merci
bien.
beaucoup. Et moi
On-
aussi. Et en forme.
En forme.
Toi,
Ah oui,
Thierry.
oui, en bonne
Ouais,
forme.
ouais.
Thank you.
After
That's
4 weeks of
music to my
vacation.
ears.
So, Cynthia is a very prolific writer, food writer, I should say, right? Food writer first.
Food writer, author,
Author.
whatever. Yeah.
You've done so many things over the year, and you were my co-host on co-writer. Is that what you call
On
it?
the Rovers podcast.
On the-
We co-hosted the Rovers
That's true.
podcast together.
That's
kind
true.
of,
The
right?
Rovers
Yeah.
podcast. She was a co-writer on the Rovers Cookbook, and you've been a friend for many years. You're an awesome cook. I mean,
I still
awesome.
remember our first meal at Rovers.
Oh, you?
Bajillion years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Summertime
I
outside.
don't, my memory bank doesn't work that far back.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
That's a little while ago. All right, let's not go into that.
No,
But
memories,
the point is, you have been around the block, and in terms of food writing, and it's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. Great
And
to
now
be
you
back.
have this new book. So you wrote a single. You wrote a couple books before this book. Well, you
Yeah,
wrote-
well, the two most recent prior to this were also in the seafood realm.
Uh-huh.
One was oysters, and the other one was crab.
Right.
So single subject, deeper dive into those specific shellfish.
right.
And then this book is called Shellfish, very simply. And what it does is really take a broader look at the larger sort of ensemble of shellfish, and which includes oysters and crab again,
Right.
because they're so popular and definitely part of that family. But it also includes shrimp and scallops and clams and mussels and lobster, I think, rounds it out. There are 7 chapters, each with a different shellfish. And so it's sort of, so they each get their own attention, but in a smaller dose than
Right.
the large scale book of like oysters did.
Sure.
So it hopefully suits folks who, well, for one thing, like a bunch of different shellfish and want to have a little variety to look at. And the thing that I was hoping is that it also will be a way to get folks who maybe they really like scallops, and that's one thing they're comfortable with and love. And so they'll maybe get the book and look at the scallop chapter, and then a couple pages later, they'll see, oh, mussels. I really haven't ever tried mussels that much, or I'm not
Right.
sure I like them, or I'm hoping that it'll be a book that helps expand folks' sort of comfort level with different shellfish and maybe trying things that they don't cook as often.
Right.
So we'll see. But I think there is just, I kind of got re-energized writing this book and working on the recipes and doing the research, because it reminded me too of the versatility of the different types and helped me remember to try different shellfish. Like I
Right.
don't honestly cook lobster very much because
Right.
we're in the Northwest.
That's
but,
right.
but there's no reason I shouldn't be now and
Right.
again getting some lobster tails, and they're great on the grill, or you can do so
Sure.
many different things with them. So I had a lot of fun writing it, and it was a sort of a fun exploration for me. And I'm hoping that will translate to folks who pick up the book. And like I said, maybe get it for 1 or 2 chapters that they know they're going to like, and then explore the others too.
So I think, to me, and something we don't really think very often as chef, or at least for me, but I have woken up to that. The biggest dilemma I think that I hear from general consumer is, where do you get seafood? Because we can talk about lobster. Lobster you can find out. Oh, Jim Everybody knows that. You can find it. Whoever's got a tank. But things like clam or little neck clam or whatever, there's always a bunch of shellfish. Shellfish is a pretty precarious ingredient. You can't play around too much with it, as in it's not like you're gonna buy it and leave it in your trunk for 6 hours and go home and
Not
think
especially,
everything.
no, certainly the live,
Yeah,
the live in the shelf.
Well,
stuff. Yeah,
shellfish is something you usually buy lives. Oysters, clam, mussels. You
Yeah.
don't usually, you buy it live, and then you do your dish with that.
Mhm.
Or at least that's the way I think. You can buy it obviously in a jar and cooked and make a chowder or whatever. But in general, you buy it live, especially around here. Now that's requiring a place of, you need to know where to buy it.
Yeah.
Number one,
Right.
and then number two, how to hold it
How
together.
to care for it. Right. I think there's certain amount of intimidation around that, and
Right.
it's understandable. And that's what I try to dispel, not dispel, but just give folks a little more comfort by explaining what to do with the shellfish when you get home.
Right.
And I do talk a little bit about finding good seafood, sort of. The thing that I found interesting, I was writing this book, not only, I wasn't able to travel to 8 different regions of the United States while I was working on it, but I would have loved to have been able to go into seafood markets. But what I
Right.
did was the next best thing, which was visit a lot of,
Farm.
just websites looking at seafood markets that are popping up around the country. And I got the impression, this is just my impression from during my research, that there seemed to be a few more, like there's a growth in specialty seafood markets that might be happening around the
hope so.
country. So that's something I'm kind of on. It's one of the lingering things I'm loving about having written that book is now I'm really focused more, and I'm going to try to figure out what to do with it next. Is sort of just looking more into that consumer experience when they go into a market and what options they have when they're shopping. And I think folks might be surprised off the coasts how actually there is access to good seafood. It travels relatively well. I mean, one thing I also did during the pandemic, because I wasn't going to, Mutual Fish every week because
Right.
we were staying home.
Oh, they were closed for a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So I ordered from Hama Hama, and I ordered from, Penn Cove, and it could be me in West Seattle. It could be someone in Spokane. It could be someone in Nebraska ordering
Right.
beautiful from the farm shellfish.
Yeah,
in
and they
that
pack
case.
them really well.
They
I
pack
mean,
them beautifully.
they
So
come in, they're perfect, and
so I think that's a thing. I mean, granted, it's not inexpensive to ship, but it's at least another option folks
Right.
have. And so I'm hoping to also encourage people to not assume that just because you don't live on the coast that you don't have access to good seafood. Might take a teeny bit of research, a little bit of work. But if there's a restaurant in town that's serving great seafood, that seafood's getting there somehow.
Yeah.
And there's might be a retailer that's
Sure.
also sourcing great seafood. So I think I just hope folks will just embrace the possibility of the fact that you can get good seafood all over the place.
and also to not assume that all your seafood's gonna come in a can or it's gonna come cooked, or like crab and everything. I know it's great to buy crab that's already cooked because it's practical, or to buy crab in a jar, that's already picked for you. That's very practical. We all love that. No,
Yeah.
who doesn't like that?
Yeah.
But there's also something really cool and very, very, very different about getting a live crab and cooking it yourself and then cracking it and then tasting
and
it.
it's fresh and all
The,
that. Yeah.
the flavor there is no comparison.
Oh, and in this season, since we're going into summer, it's already summer, right? I mean,
Right.
it was for 2 days at least. But I like everything is great on the grill. Like
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
single shellfish is great on the grill. And I
Yeah.
think that's also something that might not be the first thing that comes to mind when folks think about their summertime grilling. So you
Right.
take those, those crab portions that are sometimes, I mean, you can buy a whole crab pre-cooked too.
Right.
And then just portion it out. What I do in the book, I think it's like soy sauce and a little garlic, and you just throw that on the grill to heat up. And the char, that little bit of char on the
Nice
shells,
smokiness.
it adds a little nutty smokiness.
Yep.
And you can do, you throw oysters on the grill. I put clams in a foil packet with fresh bay leaves and a little bit of butter. You put that on the grill, and it's all makes a little steam oven
Yeah.
kind of thing. I mean, I just
So your kitchen won't be, if you're afraid of the smell, it won't be smelling.
yeah, and it's just so fun to cook everything on the grill, obviously, and it cooks super duper quickly. So then you do your steak after that, or you have
Right.
some corn on the side, and you make the most of your grill being
Correct.
heated up and make a whole meal. But scallops and shrimp and everything is great on the grill. So that's just my motto for the summer.
So when we come back, we're gonna take a break here. But when we come back, let's talk more about things like gooey duck, things that are probably a little bit out of the realm of some people, but how you can treat them very simply, and things that are a little bit off the cuff. Because I'm liking the grilling idea. So stay with us at the Hot Stove Society radio show on Caro 97.3 FM. We'll be right back.
Nice.
I think I just saw Taylor at Shellfish post about grilled gooey duck. I'm going to look it up. I have
Did you
never
check?
done it.
Is Cynthia close enough to the mic? Were you checking the sound limit? She
Am I
sounds great.
screaming at you?
No,
Okay.
no, I was just making sure you were close enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up. I intentionally don't have a lot of fancy. I don't have like spot prawns and razor clams and stuff in this book because I was kind of going for that broad audience. But we can
Right.
certainly talk about it.
Well, we can talk about butter clam, and, big clam or whatever. But I like the idea of taking clams and putting a compound butter with fresh herbs that are in season right now. All the herbs like the lemon balm, then you can put a puree into your butter and all those
Yeah.
different things, and then you can put that on top of your clam and your mussels, and put that on top of your grill,
Oh,
and
yeah. And
just
then it infuses flavor.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
grill them like that. And it's gonna be tricky. You're gonna have you need to have a portable grill that you're gonna put on top of your grill, because like your oven grill,
Mhm.
use that to prep all your shellfish and put that on your grill, and then remove that. Because
Oh, so it's ready to go. For
So
the
it's
next
portable.
thing. Yeah.
when it's ready, you're not gonna take one at a time and take
Sure,
them out. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
all right, you ready for that?
Oh, are you ready? Okay.
No, I'm
Ready spaghetti?
Yeah, I don't see the grilling thing from Taylor, but anyway. Yeah, I haven't cooked. I honestly don't cook gooey duck very much, so you can talk gooey duck.
No, I was talking razor clam. I was thinking razor
Yeah.
clam, and because I like razor clam, you can put a nice compound
Yeah.
butter and put that
Well,
on
'cause
your grill.
Those shells,
so delicious.
They hold all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think Manilas obviously are tough, so they need to be in a packet.
Yeah.
But if I don't know, maybe the
Coulcine,
larger.
coulcine oysters,
Oh, those
things
are
like
just
that.
the best. Like
Yeah.
when you throw just a plain old oyster on the grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't get better. The perfect, simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
simple enough so that most people can do that.
Mhm.
Chuck your oysters, make your compound butter, put that on top.
Open a bottle of rosé.
Here
I'm
we go.
coming over.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go now. We are back in the kitchen of the Hot Stove Society radio show. Our guest is Cynthia Nim, prolific writer, food writer, and giant knowledgeable, na- gi- giant knowledge of fish and shellfish in the region. How's that?
We'll see. I'm really worried about trivia already. All I can think about is trivia coming
Yeah.
later. And
How many legs?
I-
How many legs does a razor clam has?
that one I know. That one I think I know. It might have a foot, but not a leg.
That's nice. We were talking earlier about grilling shellfish. I want to go a little bit more into that because I'm liking this idea of, it's summertime, all the fresh herb in the garden, and you have your grill out. You're gonna grill, let's say, steaks or whatever, but you want to start with having some shellfish on top of that before.
Mhm, mhm.
It's a great way to do your oysters.
Perfect surf
Do a
and
compound
turf.
butter with fresh herb, chives and basil and all the herbs you have in your garden, your parsley, your lemon. I have a lemon balm. I can use that into my compound butter. All these different things that can give beautiful flavor to a butter. And then you put that on top, crumble that on top of your oysters and your
Mhm.
clam.
Mhm.
And I would recommend taking the grill that's in your oven, taking it out, set up all your shellfish on top of that, and then put that on top of your grill. So when they're all ready and cooked, you can remove the entire grill out.
That's one of the most brilliant things I think I've ever heard. I'm totally gonna
Really?
take that. Yeah, I mean, I love the
Hey
idea
guys,
that
you're
you.
noticing? You're noticing all this? Brilliant. She called me brilliant.
No,
We're
I,
putting that down
yeah,
in the
and there-
calendar notes.
there are some fancy things that you can get if you're like a real grill meister, and you might be doing this a lot. There are some, sort of
You
oyster
don't need to buy.
specific.
You're not going to be
doodads.
doing this every week.
No, I
You're
know.
doing this once a
That's
year.
why,
It's like,
yeah, this is
use
lovely.
your oven grill.
Because
Just take it out of the oven.
No, that's a great idea. And yeah, again, talking, it all cooks so quickly. So definitely have other stuff. One of my, well, I can't say my favorite because they're all my favorite, but one recipe I really like in the book is grilled large scallops. You're not going to grill little bay scallops because they cook way too quickly. But
Well, they're going to
like-
go through your grill too.
well, no, these are on skewers.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so it's a simple, very simple grilled sea scallop, but I also grill wedges of radicchio
Uh-huh.
alongside. So you've got then the grilled scallop on the grilled radicchio, and it
Oh,
could be other
nice.
things like grilled, romaine or
Sure,
whatever other
sure.
vegetable you want. And then there's like a Caesar-inspired sort of sauce that goes over the both of them. So the point being, again, you can grill
Oh, yeah.
vegetables, potatoes. The packet thing with the clams and the bay leaf and butter. I do that with potatoes all the time too.
Yeah.
And that bay leaf, I am such a freak for fresh bay leaf out of the garden. So if
I have two trees in my backyard.
if you do the same thing with small potatoes, depending on their size, you might want to blanch them first, just so you're sure that they're going to cook on the grill.
Right.
But put them in a different packet because it's different
Right.
cooking times. But
Sure.
the same thing, just butter, fresh bay leaf, pack it up, and put them on the grill. A little before the clams. The clams will cook more quickly, and then you're going to have this delicious, very simple butter bay leaf.
Where's the bacon? I don't hear you say bacon.
I didn't actually
No?
say the word bacon, but you can throw bacon in there if you
I'm a little bacon,
want.
with the clam and the potatoes.
Yeah.
I'm in Portugal already.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
The
I'm a-
chef's whim. You
Exactly.
can add bacon for sure. Yeah. So I think that hopefully folks can think of adding. It's like you said, the menu's going to have steaks or ribs or whatever. But while the grill's hot, because it takes just a few minutes, whatever seafood you're picking up, get some shellfish, make it a first course or a surf and turf combo or something.
And earlier I was talking about compound butter. If you can't have butter or you worry about butter, you can use olive oil, make like a chimichurri kind of,
So
kind of sauce.
Yeah.
Put that on top of your clam and mussels and put them on the grill. Just let them warm up. It's going to cook the shellfish right away. In 5 minutes, you get this gorgeous product, and you slurp on that with a little grilled bread.
Oh,
next
of course,
to it.
the bread.
Grilled
Always,
bread next
always,
to it.
always
Of
the bread.
course.
Yeah. And then again with the grill, the grilled
Yeah.
bread just adds a little extra toasty
Nice
flavor.
glass of rosé, and it's the 4th of July in
Yeah, and
America.
And you already covered all the beautiful desserts you're going to have after.
Yes, the
so
trifle.
we've got the whole menu figured out for
Yeah.
everybody's
Summer's
summer
looking
And then
good.
we
planning,
talked
right?
about peas and summer salad earlier. We get the whole
Yeah.
buffet ready to go.
I finally
How many people are coming?
I finally planted some mosh this summer.
Oh, yeah?
And
Oh,
I've got
good call.
3 teeny weeny little plants, so it's going to be like half a bite for each of us. But I'm so excited to finally have some mosh in my
Yeah,
garden.
Make it an appetizer.
Yeah, it'll be a teeny. It'll be like a little
Yeah.
amuse-bouche
Exactly,
salad
definitely.
for us this summer. But I
only-
do love even my small garden. I've got fennel, and I have chervil that hasn't bolted yet, and a little basil. It doesn't take a lot, and it's
No.
just so satisfying to add those garden herbs.
I have more
your
weeds
cooking.
than anything in my garden right now because we left for 4 weeks, and
Ah.
oh my God, it rained like crazy when we were gone. And of course, there was a few days of sunshine in between, or the weeds went to heaven. They were like, we came back, it was like, we get 3 feet of weeds in the entire backyard. So to find the chives, I have to kill.
They're down
I'm
there
like,
somewhere.
Get out of here. No, it's like, but anyway, it's fun. Like you said, it's so easy to have. If you have 3 feet by 3 feet of dirt, you can plant a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of herbs. You've got enough to just clip every day a
Yeah.
little bit. I know, especially if you're single or you're living alone, it's easy to have just a little bit. I mean, it could be on your windowsill.
Yeah, and I've got just pots. I mean, a lot of my stuff is in pots because
Yeah.
we just have a paved patio. I mean, anyway, we don't have a ton of
Yeah.
land to plant in, but it just works really well, and it's super satisfying.
I have fraise des bois right now. Ooh,
Nice.
Just had the first one.
So the one thing about shellfish that I think is really cool too is, and I'm sure you experienced this just recently in France, and every time you travel, even if it's just somewhere else in the States, there's a lot of there's so much regional distinction to the shellfish as you travel. So it's delicious and interesting and different. And I think shellfish end up being a really cool thing to have on your radar when you're traveling.
Yep.
Whether it's like we were talking about Lisbon earlier, I forget the name of the restaurant, but one of the more sort of traditional, classic, phenomenal restaurants that does seafood there. You get these shrimp that are as big as your hand, and
Oh yeah, they're called gambas.
yeah, enormous. And then the I don't ever remember the Spanish word, but the gooseneck barnacles and
Oh, yeah.
all sorts of different unique things to have while you're traveling. And it adds to, it's not only something delicious and fun to eat while you're traveling, but it just adds to our collective appreciation for how different they are and preserving sort of the cultural, connections.
This is all part of our heritage, and yes,
Yeah.
we do need to preserve it. Just like, I mean, here we have such a bounty of shellfish around here. The Pacific
and
Northwest.
I love the stories behind them.
Yeah.
It's just great. And so I think, I don't know, again, I got super enthused writing this book because it channeled just a lot of fun experiences I've had over the years. Being up on Kodiak Island in the 90s and, being on a boat when we pulled up a crab pot with king crab in it and eating king
wow.
crab that were cooked on the beach
Wow.
like a couple of hours later. I mean, I'll never forget that
Of course
for
not.
my whole life. And
I still to this day have the flavor of the crab I ate with Eric Ripper in the kitchen after we sat down with a 5-course lunch at the bar, And then we went into the kitchen, and there was this gorgeous king crab that just got cooked. I mean, literally just got cooked on a sheet pan. And the chef gave it to put it in front of us. So I was talking with Eric, and we start plucking at we just had a 5-course lunch. We start plucking at the crab. We ate, I don't know how much of that crab, way too much of that crab. It was, to this day, I remember that flavor so distinctively.
Mhm.
How sweet, how gorgeous, lightly salted. It was magnificent.
Mhm.
So yes, there is a memory that gets built with that.
Yeah.
When I was in France this time, I had some fin de claire
Oh,
in Lyon in the Bocuse market.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you've been there. And I was taking a group, and I said, "Oh, let's stop here and let's all have an oyster." And he said, "What kind of oyster? I want some fin de claire." I had number 3 fin de claire. They were, like you said, it was so different. I mean, we have Komimotos, we have all those different oysters here that we are familiar with. Those were different,
yeah.
and they were so delicious. And that with a glass of little Macon.
Oh, so you were just in the Camargue.
Yes.
And so I went to the Camargue for the first time ever, like all those years of going to France.
yeah?
I hadn't been, and it was maybe 5 years ago or something. And we're in this little random village, stopping at a random place for lunch, and they have these teeny weeny little clams. I swear they weren't bigger than my tip of my thumb. I'm gonna forget the name right now, but teeny weeny little clams that were on this special. It was one of those classic lunchtime, 15 euros, 3-course thing, and it was just exquisite. Like, ooh, the most delicate little thing that I won't have that experience probably, I mean, I'll have it again if I go back to the Camargue or that part of France.
The Camargue is the southern part of the Rhone Valley.
Right. On the
That's
Mediterranean.
on the,
there, yeah.
on the Spanish border and the Mediterranean corner. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just such a delight to try new and different, things like that. And of course, I'm partial to shellfish as a great way to travel.
No, I mean, I think you're right. Shellfish is definitely, obviously, you have to be on the coast to get shellfish. Wyoming doesn't have a reputation for great shellfish, but
not on site.
no, not on site. But if you're on the coast, yeah, definitely, I think it's a great idea to travel and try the different local shellfish. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so excited about shellfish now.
Oh, good. That was my hope.
That was really
my
cool.
hope.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to research how to cook shellfish in your house, because it's really not. In most cases, it's not that complicated. I mean, we always say that, because we're chef, but I know it's a little bit scary at first, but debarbing the mussel, put them, wash them, put them in a pot and steam them. It does not take much.
Right.
And you can Google that and Google Cynthia name, and she'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just buy her book or come to her class
Oh,
on
that's right.
July 27th.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're doing a class here on July
Right
27th.
here on the 27th.
So
with
if you
all
want to
sorts of
learn more
fun
about
things.
shellfish, come to the Hot Stove Society, book a class, bring some friends, and then
Eat
you'll
shellfish.
have a power in September or October with a lot of shellfish on your table.
Yeah, exactly.
We are at the Hot Stove Society in Seattle, Washington. It's the world headquarters here. And stay with us, because coming up next, we have a tasty trivia. You're going to stay with us, Cynthia?
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm very scared. But
It's
yes,
all-
I'll be here.
Don't worry, it's all about shellfish. Not. We are on 97.3 FM, Cairo.
Thank you.
I love that. The exit is like so wobbly.
Dude.
YouTubers, thank you for staying with us.
Yes, very appreciative. Have you met Annie before?
I don't know if we've met before.
Okay,
We may have
well-
crossed paths before.
Annie, Cynthia, Annie.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
She was very the book, as we've had it here and people have been picking it up, you really accomplished making it approachable and
Oh,
engaging.
Thank you.
I mean, you nailed it.
Thanks.
Just the way it's laid out, the photography, the approach. I think people are going to feel really revitalized
Oh.
about using
Oh,
shellfish.
cool. Well, thank you.
That's the whole idea, is to try to get, your normal people to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like it's such a.
you're abnormal. So
Believe me, I know that for a long time.
Abby normal.
Abby normal, yeah. But Abby normal is not me. All right, you ready for the trivia?
yeah, we are. Sean's playing today with you too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, does he didn't seem to know that.
My second comic, so I can
I like that. He's playing. He doesn't know. So wait, is Cynthia, Sean, and me?
Yeah,
Okay, who's playing first?
you,
Okay, who's playing last?
Sean, and Cynthia's in the middle.
Let me guess.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go now. We are back at the Hot Stuff Society radio show in the Hot Stuff Society Club. I like the new name I gave it. At the Hotel Andra at the corner of 4th and Virginia. And this is our favorite time of the day where we can play around and see how smart we are. Pamela, you've actually, it's not Pamela today. It's
Becky
somebody-
Guzak wrote our questions.
Here we go.
I've named her our unofficial associate producer, and she's a big Hot Stove Society fan and is getting a big kick out of helping us with trivia. And I love that she themed it to 4th of July.
Nice.
We're going to feel all patriotic today.
Yeah.
Good.
We'll see.
1786.
I know. All of a sudden,
Oh, I'm like, wait.
all the
But you're
history
thinking
is
like,
going
wait a
out of
minute.
my head.
You have to recite the Constitution.
So Tom is not with us today. So Sean will take his lead. And I will start. Cynthia is in the middle. And the game, Pam, you want to tell us how we play the game?
Yes, you're each going to get 5 questions from Becky. And the winner is going to be Cynthia. I'm announcing it already.
Oh, now I feel better.
I love this.
Now I
If-
feel.
If Tom was here, he'd be like, doesn't surprise me.
You know I love rigging this. But of course, Terry, we are going to start with you and just dig deep into the 4th of July traditions and summer.
I also want to remind everybody that Food for Thought Tasty Trivia is brought to you by Rub with Love. If you've never heard that name before, you obviously were not listening to our show, but it's never too late. Don't forget to buy your Rub with Love spices. There is a whole collection of them, a whole slew of them, and they're available from coast to coast in the US of A. And also on the internet at tomdouglas.com.
And local butcher shops are very big supporters, and you can find them at Don and Joe's in the Pike Place Market, Butcher Boys in Puyallup, and surprisingly, at any of the McLendon hardware stores, which we think is a beautiful thing.
I need a pound of nail and some Rub with Love.
All right, let's play.
All right, go ahead.
Number 1, what is the only fruit to have seeds on the outside?
Strawberries.
Correct. Pie was brought to America by the first English colonists. Pies were popular in England, though they were often meat pies. What was the first fruit pie thought to have been made by Queen Elizabeth? I'll give you 3 choices:
Go ahead.
cherry, durian, or apple.
Okay, durian is not an option, I hope. I'm sure the Queen did not know about durian until much later. I'm going to go with, so it's between cherry and apple. So I want to say apple, but I bet you it's cherry.
It's cherry. 2 for 2. Number 3, the Patriot, Climax, and Blue Gold are varietal names for which type of fruit? Patriot, Climax, and there's a little hint here, Blue Gold.
Blueberries.
Yeah, it's tremendous. Again, multiple choice. What is the heaviest watermelon grown on record? 100 pounds, 350 pounds, or 824 pounds?
Holy smokes. I don't want to meet that 800-pound watermelon.
No,
But I bet you that's what it is.
it's 350 according to the Guinness World Records. Grown in Ohio at the Operation Pumpkin Festival in 2013.
Wow.
To be exact.
To be exact. Yeah.
Uh-oh, this is one you're going to nail.
And by the way, very useful information.
We Americans love our potato salad on the 4th of July.
So do I.
How would you take an ordinary potato salad and make it extraordinary?
Listen to the show 3 segments ago.
Add bacon.
Add bacon, exactly. Just add bacon and chives and make it fantastic. Oh, maybe some Dijon mustard too.
Of course. All right, 4 out of 5, Terry.
All right.
Cynthia, you ready
Cynthia,
to
you see-
rumble?
I guess I'm ready. Sure,
You
sure.
see how easy it is?
Yeah, I'm ready to rumble. Yeah.
Yours is how many people were sitting around the table when they actually wrote the Constitution?
Jeez. Oh.
True or false? Peanuts.
Sorry. Oh, wait.
Peanuts can be used to make dynamite.
Peanuts? Wait, I thought you said these were going to be. Peanuts can be used to make dynamite. I'm going to say that's so crazy that I'll say yes.
Yep, true. Peanuts oil is processed to produce glycerol, which
Okay.
is the key ingredient.
I
You-
missed that day in cooking school.
I'm glad they didn't cover
I
it.
definitely missed that chapter.
Number 2, the Alpine, Little Scarlet, and the All-Star are varietal names for which type of fruit?
I'm hoping it's strawberry.
You are correct.
That's what I was going to guess too.
Yay. Rosé is a popular wine,
Mm.
often enjoyed at 4th of July gatherings.
True.
She's a
Sorry.
cheater. I
I'm
like it.
sorry,
I
I'm
like her
sorry.
I just
style.
want to win. And I get
Which grape varietal is not typically used in making rosé? Grenache, Concord, or Pinot Noir?
Let's see. Concord. That
Cord.
would be the kids' version
Yeah, the
of
kids'
rosé. Yes, yes.
You are off to a tremendous start. According to the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, how many hot dogs will be consumed in America this 4th of July? Here's a hint. The U.S. population is slightly over 330 million. So your multiple choice is for hot dog consumption, 50 million, 150 million, or 400 million.
Hot dogs consumed
Yeah.
over the holiday.
Cynthia,
Yeah.
don't forget they eat more than one.
Except
Oh,
I'm not-
don't
except-
throw
except
off.
I wasn't going to be having any, so I was kind
Exactly.
of doing that. I'm going to go with the middle one. Remind
Yep,
me of the middle
yep.
one.
150.
Yeah.
150 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Your
Wow.
analysis is strong. I love it. And finally, number 5, grilled corn is a classic favorite of 4th of July celebrations. How would you take it from ordinary and make it extraordinary?
Extra butter, like the butter you first put on a teeny bit more butter and then add some minced herbs on top. I don't know.
Yes.
Does that sound good?
More butter?
I was
Yeah.
just like more butter. I'm like, that's not an extraordinary. That's just a
That's just
regularly
normal. That's a
normal
regular
thing to
day.
do.
Yeah.
I would have put it with some blueberry just to make a nice blueberry and grilled corn salad.
5 for 5.
5 for 5.
And now our technical
Sean?
producer,
I had to
Sean
switch the
McFadden.
camera first so I could. Yes.
Yes.
So Sean,
So,
how do you
yeah.
feel?
It's a little surreal being on this side of things.
You're gonna
we,
have
but,
to beat 4
yeah.
is what the number
I'm gonna
is.
have to-
we need it more often because you've got a great voice
well, thank you.
and you're a great cook. So
Yeah,
I
you
think
know.
you're going to be a strong
And
contestant.
thank God you can hold a radio show together.
Yeah, and you can assist
for
us.
the most.
All right, number 1, the Stars and Stripes, Yellow Baby, and Sangria are varietal names for which type of fruit? It's one that we love eating in the
It's a-
summertime.
It's a trick question. It's a fruit though.
A fruit. Sangria is that version of this?
Sangria, Yellow Baby, and Stars and Stripes.
Oh wow.
Which
Oh.
they're varietal for which fruit?
I'm gonna go, and it's a summer fruit. Do I get a question?
And it's kind of a shaped like this.
A
and-
melon?
Yeah, watermelon
So- okay,
specifically.
okay.
All types of
Good job.
watermelon. Good job. This is multiple choice. What is the hottest pepper in the world? The ghost, the Carolina Reaper, or the Trinidad Moruga Scorpion?
Oh, the scorpion's a new. I've not heard of that one, so
Ah, Moruga scorpion sounds vicious.
it does. I'm gonna have to go scorpion. I think.
It's the Carolina Reaper. It's a cross between the ghost pepper and the red habanero. On the Scoville heat unit index, it is 200 times hotter than the jalapeno. Whoa!
Goodness.
200 times.
Ugh.
That's hard to imagine.
Number 3, which contains more sugar, a strawberry or a lemon?
Jeez, I'm gonna go strawberry.
You bet.
All right, all right.
Correct. True or
You
false?
always think it's a trick question.
Right.
Like,
I know.
is that like, why would they mention
Yeah,
lemon?
I'm overthinking it.
You got to process it. True or false? Benjamin Franklin proposed the turkey as the national bird, but he was overruled by John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, who recommended the bald eagle. Is that true or false?
Wow, it sounds wacky enough to be true. I
It's
think.
true.
All right, all right.
In 1772, the Second Continental Congress selected the bald eagle as the U.S. national symbol, representing freedom, independence, and strength.
Wow. The rest is
Most days
history.
we accomplish that in the United States, not
I'm
all.
glad they didn't go for Thanksgiving on
high.
that one.
And finally, baked beans are an American favorite enjoyed on the 4th of July. How would you take it from ordinary and make it extraordinary?
Baked beans?
Yeah.
Ooh, gosh. I would go some chipotle peppers in there. Some canned
Oh.
chipotle.
Mm.
Maybe.
Brilliant.
And maybe some sort of pork fat just to.
I told you he was a
are you
good
going to use
cook.
the same butter than Cynthia was using?
Well, I think you're on
Ooh.
Thierry's
Yeah.
bacon bandwagon too.
Some
Yeah,
butter
yeah.
and some
Some
herbs
bacon.
on there. Yeah.
All right. Tremendous work, team. And
All right.
Cynthia, congratulations on being the
Cynthia won.
winner.
Thank you.
And who gets the present for the rub with love? Who gets?
Cynthia.
Cynthia does?
Yeah, she's taking home the new ones.
Wow.
Ooh, taco.
Taco, series pie, pizza spice, and jerk
Wow.
rub.
All right.
gosh,
You're
how
listening
fun.
to the Hot Stove Society radio show on Cairo 87.3 FM. If you want to be a part of the show, you can join the community on YouTube live at Tom Douglas and Company, or buy a ticket to join us in the studio at hotstovesociety.com. The show is produced by Pamela Inkley. Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome.
Sean McFadden. Thank you, Sean. And our editor is Sean De Torre. Thank you, Sean. Wish you would come by and say hi. Also, remember, if you miss any episode of a Hot Stove Society show on Cairo 97.3 FM, you can listen via podcast. Just subscribe to you with your favorite app. And we thank you so much for listening, and happy 4th of July.
Thanks for listening. See you later.
Ciao. Hi, I'm Tom Douglas. That's funny. I'm going to say that actually.
Yeah, you should.
I'm going to say that. I am Tom Douglas. That's not even better. I'm going to say a big, very thick French accent. Let me know when, Sean.
We're ready to go.
Mamina. Yeah, I know. It's okay. Can you hear that or not?
No, it should be good.
The frying, you don't hear that, right?
No, we're close. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Tom Douglas. Not.
Really?
Okay, I'm doing it again. Hello, I'm Tom Douglas. This afternoon on the Hot Stove Society radio show, we talk about a new favorite cookbook by Josh McFadden, Grains for Every Season, elevating the 4th of July side dishes with some creative tangy touches, shelling all those peas, is it worth it? And our dear friend Cynthia Nim comes on the show and talks to us about her new book, Shellfish.
Like a pro.
La